What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 82. Woo! I'm like, yes, 82. I write it down, and then I'm like, yes, the 82.
Are we sure? Is it that one?
Yes, it is
Yes.
82.
Yes.
We are bringing you that Monday energy. We're here every
Oh my
Monday,
God.
generally speaking, because we're here for all of you live. If you're live watching
Live.
live, if you're live, we hope you are alive.
Hope you're alive.
Join.
Hey, we love you.
If you're part of the undead, interesting, cool, welcome. Yeah, we have a live chat going, and if you're watching it later, comment down below, and we'll get to intros. Hello, I am Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
Yes, and we will be talking about the Reign of the Seven Spellblades, as well as other recommendations of things we are checking out. And first off, we got a little bit of news. And then, yes, live chat, we got John Knight says, hello, ladies. I can tell you got big Monday energy. My goodness, this has been a Monday that's mundane. So, yes, that is
We
correct.
both have day jobs that we do before
Yeah.
this. So, yellow.
And life and things. Yes. And Gigadir, hi, and technically alive. All right.
Beats the alternative.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But we are happy to be here to talk to you all about anime and other cool stuff. So things we are excited about, which is speaking of news. So there's a big anime that's very popular, and there's a lot of episodes. So Katie, tell us about what is this exciting news with this show?
You say, yeah, y'all want to hear something wild? You remember One Piece episode 1000? You remember how that dropped in July and it was like absolutely amazing? Well, now the dub is dropping on Crunchyroll tomorrow. Tuesday the 15th. So if you have been watching dubbed, episodes 989 through 1000 are all dropping tomorrow. So you can have yourself a nice little dub marathon. It's the dub of One Piece is so solid, you guys. Sub dub, both of them are amazing. So
Yes.
yeah, hop on over to Crunchyroll tomorrow and come get your dub.
All right. And also plug to here on the channel if you are a fan of the dub or voice acting in general on the Fanversation channel here where you are watching. We have a lot of interviews with voice actors, including the One Piece English voice actors. So go check those out. There's a whole channel for the One Piece one, and then there's a whole playlist. Excuse me, playlist of voice acting. So if that's something you're into, you should check it out. And then Geek Derek says I'm about 300 episodes behind. All right, yes.
It's okay, I'm about 700 behind.
Yes. We got another person in chat. Hello, we got no Laura. No, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong. But Toon Force is alive and kicking. All right.
Right.
Welcome everybody watching. And
Welcome to the Big Monday energy.
Yes, we are excited to be here though to talk to you all.
As we do. Yep.
Yes. So other news, 42 West has their fall preview for theatrical and or streaming films. So a couple ones are taking a look at the list. One that I saw here that I was like, ooh, September 1st is Ernest and Celestine, a trip to Gibraltar.
Gibraltaria? Tia.
Yes. Yep. I've seen an Ernest and Celestine film before, and they're beautiful, so that's very exciting. So there'll be another one. We got Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe on September 8th. September 15th, The Inventor. September 29th, She Came Home. There we go. October 6th, Limited, and October 20th, Wide, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's an app under Apple Original Films, so that's cool. And then looking further down the line, we got Gen V in September 29th, as well as more. So check out 42 West. G Kids actually does a lot with 42 West stuff. So stay tuned for more of that. I was looking to see if there's any other details. Well, stay tuned because we have covered a lot of those titles by that distribution.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
And also keep in mind that the Miyazaki movie screenings, the Miyazaki theatrical screenings are still going on. You can still get tickets for those. I was reminded when I went to go see Ninja Turtles the other day for the second time and wound up chatting in line next to people who were there to see Princess Mononoke.
Yay!
So those are still going on.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Now we'll get into. That was it on news. It's summertime,
Yes.
so there's a little less, but class is still in session.
Mhm.
We got our Reign of the Seven Spellblades. So we are currently covering this show, and we know we're behind, so we're doing 2 episodes
Yes.
at a time. So please, no skipping ahead.
Yes.
So
To
today we're doing
2 and 3. We are
yes,
doing episodes 2 and 3. Please keep the chat spoiler free. I'm not entirely. I think this is a light novel adaptation.
yes,
So for those of you who have done the thing, read the light novel, etc., please keep spoilers out of the chat entirely. We are going into this blind. Boy, is this anime weird.
yes. It keeps
I'm
going.
loving
That
it.
you're like, what is happening? Yeah, I agree. I'm
Yeah.
still super into it.
Yeah.
We got our theme songs. Opening and
Yes.
closers. I think I like closing more. What are your thoughts on the opening
The
and closing?
visuals on the opening, though.
Oh, love the visuals on the opening,
Oh
but
my
like
God.
as a bop that I would listen to later,
They're both
more
okay.
the closing.
They're both
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I mean, to be fair, we have been covering a lot of like shonen anime and really
right.
popular ones that
Epic.
have
Yes,
like the bangers.
yeah,
So you don't necessarily want to be like, all right, the ones that are on seasons 3 and 4 and 5 and have all of the budget for their stuff. Like
yeah.
you don't want to compare. That's a little rude. But yeah, no, I'm here for it. They're fine. They're
I
good
think,
solid songs.
and the opener vibe definitely fits with the show really
Oh
well.
my god.
I'm like, yes, get it sets the mood well. Uh, I think we're probably gonna be talking about when we cover these episodes in pairs. We're probably gonna be blending episodes, so
We
don't
will
mind
be.
us. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So if you've
Um.
only seen episode 2, you might get spoiled for episode 3. So
Yes.
like go watch 3 and then come back for this. Come back
Uh.
to the VOD.
Something that
This
stood out, and
show.
I was like, I wonder what Katie's gonna think is when we met some of the upperclassmen in the labyrinth underneath. I was like,
What is
well,
the
that took an
show?
interesting turn. I
What
wonder
is
what
the
Katie.
show? I watching it with Megan
Uh,
and her pointing at the 5th year and going, "That is an adult. That is a
yes,
grown ass man. How old are these students?" And we don't know. We
yeah.
don't know. Are they like high school freshmen when they're first years? Are they
Can
college
you
freshmen?
join at any time? Yeah. Do you have to? Is there an
What's
age
going on
limit?
here?
Are they transfer students and they're like 27 and they come back to regular college? So yeah, don't know.
The other thing I was wondering, just watching these 2 episodes and getting a little bit of the geopolitical climate and a little bit
Hmm.
of the here's what's happening here, like I have to wonder, is what's happening at the school a reflection of what's going on at the world at large? Like, is this a one-to-one for society? Is this an actual reflection of how
Mm.
the society works, what its beliefs are, etc.? Or are we at like the heckin' sequestered rich kid school that occasionally gets a
Mm.
scholarship student and they're going to the
Mm.
magical equivalent of like BYU? Like, is this a weird school or is this a normal school for this world? And for everyone going, you're making fun of BYU as your weird school? Yeah, I'm from Colorado. Yeah, it's when you're in the Mountain West and you're up against BYU, you formulate some opinions. But that's neither here nor there. The point being, there are some educational campuses that are more reflective of the reality of the area, if not the larger reality of the
Mhm.
country. And there are some educational campuses that are just really super not. So I'm wondering where this one stands. And I feel like the show, at least for now, intends it to be one that reflects the world, but I would, or at least this country, but I would find it very interesting if it leads us down that road and then we get a wider view later and shows that that is not the case, that this is
Mm.
very much some rich family infighting up in here.
I think it could be a mix of both because we get some examples of the rich fighting. We have we grew up as kids together. We known each other. I'm
His
like,
name
wait,
is Richard and he's a dick.
uh,
You gotta. You gotta.
I was thinking I
Yeah,
need to have their
that's
names ready.
yeah. So that is
I was like, who?
extremely like rich kid with something to prove. This really unfortunate comparison. Oliver planning on going in that duel, planning on
Yeah.
losing, just to keep the peace, just to make that very political move of not messing with it. Like and God. this kid, oh, are you going to show us how they fight in Asia? I'm like, oh, the microaggressions. Let's
Oh, I was
go.
like, I love how they very easily, quickly were like, these are the bad people. Like, ooh, look at that nerd reading. Teacher's pet. I'm
It's like
like,
day one and he's
okay.
the teacher's pet. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. Well, you can't. We said this last episode. For those who didn't watch this show last episode, welcome. It's very difficult not to draw the Harry Potter parallels because Harry Potter was such a cultural juggernaut and became a cultural touchstone for magical boarding school in much the same way that Sword Art Online became a touchstone for sucked into a game isekai. Even if you're not the most fond of Sword Art Online or don't know too much about it, the conversation does still lead itself to comparisons. So there's going to be Harry Potter comparisons here. It's going to be the shorthand. It's the easiest way to do this comparison. That does not mean we support the work. That doesn't mean we support Rowling or her views. We don't. We don't. We don't. Just got to make that super clear. And let's be real, we're going to be making that super clear every episode, right along with the no spoilers request. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta. You
Make sure
gotta.
everybody is on
You
the
gotta.
same page. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, well, speaking of our kids being all on the same page, I did love the love as in the I'm not gonna confess or express my feelings of things with Oliver and our I'm like, where'd she go? Where's our samurai?
Now.
No, now is the McFarlane. Uh
No, no,
Oh no,
no.
McFarlane's. Why does McFarlane? Oh, because it was Shave Life. That's why I'm looking. I was trying to. Excuse me. I'm like reading this very quickly. Yes, Nanau
No,
and
no, now.
Oliver, and he's like, "Oh, you just were ready to commit suicide and run into this because you don't really care about living," which makes sense in terms of how she can be so nonchalant about running into danger because she's like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm mad at you and I'm not gonna explain why. And then she's like, my feelings are hurt. And and
This
of
is an
course nobody's
extremely
talking.
it's an extremely teenager thing
Yeah.
to do. And I do
Uh,
appreciate that we got that conversation. And I loved, like, we knew her backstory. We know she got saved in a battle that she couldn't otherwise win. But I do love that we really looked into, like, yeah, she's a soldier. She's probably been fighting her entire life.
mm-hmm.
Doing the whole, oh, I heard that your son is a great warrior. I would love to cross swords with him, not knowing that she just
Yeah, right did.
killed him.
Yep.
Just like this is her entire life. And being prepared to die and to die an ignoble, unnoticed death. Like, okay, this is what's going to happen, I guess.
Yep.
And randomly being saved by some just white dude with ringlets interrupting the battle and going, I have questions about your culture. Why is it such a big deal for you not to know her name? Why wouldn't you ask her name? It's just like, it's so incredibly white tourist. And I'm
Mm,
sure that's what they were going for, and they fucking nailed it. Just one of those really embarrassing, like, oh, God, he did save her life, but it also led to her, like, I don't know how long it's been since that happened and the beginning of the school year, but she's
mm,
basically been living in a sense of unreality
yep.
ever since. Like, how do
Yep.
I know this is real? How do I know this isn't the last few synapses in my brain firing as I bleed out? Like,
That's a
so,
very fair question too. If
yeah.
you like, yeah. But then I'm loving Michaela even more too now because she's
Yes.
like, all right, I see what shit is going down here, and I'm gonna like be like, hey, maybe y'all should talk to each other. And just how she's so aware of what things are going on that I thought she was a little bit more of like a side kind of character, but I feel she's stepping up a bit and being a good driving force. And all of them coming to the aid of Katie.
Yes.
Uh, this poor sweetheart of like, I don't want to even hurt the bugs. And I was like, oh, I love her for that. And
Yeah.
it's such a good representation to have like, no, there's other ways to do things. And I really, I'm loving these characters more and more. Though I don't
Yeah.
feel we're getting a lot from everybody except Guy. So I'm hoping we get a
I
little bit
think
more from him
I
soon.
think Guy is gonna be our comic relief right up until the point where he's not.
Yeah.
Like, either he is going to
Mhm.
get character development out of nowhere that is going to absolutely lay us flat, or he's gonna just die.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that we've gotten character development for the comic relief that was like, "Oh my god!" Like my brain immediately goes to second season of Vandred, which I'm sure no one in the audience has seen. My weird 2000s animes that live in my soul. Yes, but he'll have his moment.
I
It's
think we'll
just
get
going to
it
depend
later.
on what the moment is. Or he's a mole.
Hmm. I think it'll
We're
just be
not gonna
later
bother.
because it feels weird for everybody else to get some depth, and he hasn't really gotten it
No.
yet. But it doesn't feel like a we won't. It's just a yet. We're still
Yeah.
episode 2, 3.
Because we
What?
also have
Oh,
the labyrinth beneath the school. We've met
like
some of the more
okay,
dangerous upperclassmen and the
yes,
student council president, whose name is Purgatory and who
yep,
seems to favor fire. We've met one of the older
and
students who
Carlos, yes,
another one of the older students who features in the opening, like the girl in the lab with the thing on the table. Like,
yep,
oh, okay, that's cool. We've met three of the teachers and the headmaster, but that was last episode.
mm-hmm,
We got the explanation of what a spellblade is and how there are only 6 in existence. And we got, again, a little bit of the politics. We really got a lot of Katie these 2 episodes in the I don't want to hurt any of the animals, and then turning around and protesting like, oh, they're going to execute the troll that went
mm-hmm.
berserk in the opening parade, and her protesting it and getting tortured by a teacher because of it.
Yeah, that was
Extreme
weird.
pain spells have been outlawed for 5 years in teaching. Yes, well, I'm not going to change the way I teach. Like, I worked in education for 7 years,
Yeah,
and
oof.
occasionally you would get someone who's like, "I'm not gonna change how I teach." Like, "How you teach is 30 years out of date, friend." So, just getting that, like, yeah, torturing your students is, outlawed. I don't care, still gonna do it. And the fact that Katie's family firmly believing that demi-humans, as they call them, should have equal rights, and that being seen as an insane fringe position that now needs to be catered to because it has political power, not for any ethical reasons, but because it has enough political clout to cause problems if the proper investigation isn't taken. Like, at pairing that with the care of magical creatures, as it were, class being all about using these creatures as resources as opposed to actually like caring for them or taking care of them.
Or a teamwork, yeah. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
not
yeah,
like
no
a
teamwork.
familiar where you could work together. Which I feel
And
that's
the
maybe the
whole
direction she'll go.
and the whole no teamwork thing is like, gee, I wonder why 20% of students at this school die. If you
Hmm.
disincentivize,
Hmm.
excuse me, if you disincentivize
Yep.
teamwork and taking care of each other, that might have just been that one class. Because again,
That's
our
true.
sword work teacher
He was
seems
pretty
to be chill.
yep, and aware because he saw the oh yes, they have enough so we got our main two protagonists have the special magic abilities that they dropped the spell that would protect them from lethal
From
blows.
killing each other in a
You
duel.
know. What?
Yeah,
So he's aware of that and doesn't like panic, just say, well, hold up, everybody.
we're
We
done
should
now.
stop. Yeah. We got Giga Derek in the chat said, is the labyrinth the great tomb of Nazareth? I'm getting that overlord vibe.
He would have no patience for these shenanigans.
He's like,
Dude
what are
shows
these
up.
children doing?
Dude
Yes.
shows up making a jungle gym out of bones, and it's very, very clear that he has scavenged corpses for these. It's either going to be like, ah, yes, I'm keeping you close so I can study your magic, or disrespectful.
Or,
We'll
ugh,
see. We'll see.
man, creepy, like, succubus lady giving birth to thing was so weird, too.
Very Melisandre.
Yeah.
Very Melisandre.
I was like, what is happening? What is happening?
Again, we this anime is really weird.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
going like we're getting a breakneck pace. We have
Yes.
murder sword techniques on top of a labyrinth, on top of these are our upperclassmen and they're a little crazy, on top of these are our teachers and they're a lot crazy, on top of politics, just like on top of here is this character's extremely traumatized backstory. Can you see why she is the way she is?
Yep.
But them basically going, yeah, no, here's your new lease on life. And her turning around and using it to call Oliver all the way out when he's planning on throwing the duel is just incredible.
Yeah,
I love it. She's great.
yes. What was the other thing of it that stood out to me of
I want to know what Oliver's deal is because in both the opening and the
Yeah.
ending, he
He's
has
very
eye trauma. So it
yeah.
is like, what happened to you?
Yep.
Why do you need a bodyguard who is, fucking off for a little while? We established that, but
Yep.
like,
Yep.
why do you need a bodyguard? What happened to you? What did you do?
Who
What
are
is
you
occurring?
related to?
What is your tragic backstory, sir?
Yes.
He's
Where'd
like,
it
yeah,
go?
say hi to my older brother for me. He's the one that sent you to bodyguard me, and I was taking you back for a minute, but say hi. Okay. All right. Who are you?
Yep. And how long till he tells the rest of the group, or like how long till they start sharing more personal details? Because they chat a bit, but how much are
I'm
we going to get into it?
I'm expecting to get like flashbacks for him around episode say
Ah.
9.
Mm.
Like he seems like I don't know how long this season's going to be. My guess is a 13 episode order. I
I was
don't
about to
think
look it
we've
up, and
got
I'm
the
like, we're not
full.
that far behind.
Yeah, because I think we have like 7 episodes so far.
The
5.
manga is 7 volumes.
Yeah, but the
And
season though,
TV series right now, there's currently 6.
6 episodes. Again, I don't think we're going to get a 26 or a 52 episode order. I think we're looking
Probably
at
not.
somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 episodes season.
Mhm.
So I would say probably around episode 9, episode 10, depending on how many we have. That's
Mhm.
about when you start getting into your main character tragic backstory, which is why I was so surprised we got Nanao so soon.
Yep.
But we have where Nanao came from and her ideals and her thoughts on life. And we have how Katie grew up and how that's shaping her approach to things and her love of magical creatures and her belief in the rights of demi-humans. Which
Yep.
again, her having this conversation about demi-humans with the other student who we see in the opening in a lab with a thing on the table, full Frankenstein. It's like, this is going to get bad. This is just going to get real bad for Katie. I love it. I hate it. Who is the blonde girl in the ending? We don't know her yet.
Is that the one who has the hat too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Who's that?" Yep.
Yeah. Like the hat and the extremely anime layers in her
Mhm.
hair. Like, yeah, no. Who the hecky? I don't think we met her.
I don't think so. No, not yet. The only weird thing I can think of is if that's the bodyguard, but I kind of doubt it.
And
But
she's not in the OP either.
yeah,
Not unless I just haven't seen her.
no.
But yeah, little
Okay.
weird that she's just chilling in the ending.
Mhm.
My guess off the bat is either our 7th, because we have 6 kids in our group and 6 spell blades that
I thought the
exist.
bodyguard would be our 7.
That's possible, but
Mhm.
they introduced her and then just whoosh, so
Yeah.
uncertain.
Mhm.
Other option is villain, that
Mm.
she is a seasoned villain.
Mhm.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
She appeared once in the ending, and we're just like, who are you? Tell me your secrets.
It's like you have quite the character design. Tell us more. Yes.
Like, you're obviously going to be very important in this anime just from the look of you, but like, whomst?
Was there anything else that stood out? I was trying to remember if anything else stood out to me.
No, this show is nuts.
Yeah.
I think 2 episodes at a clip is a way to do it, and
Yes.
we're ending with Dick sending both Oliver and Nanao a duel invitation, and it's just like, you saw them fight each other, dude. You think you're on that level?
He
Is this,
does. He does. Oh my gosh. Yep.
or it's a saving face thing that he feels like he has
Uh,
to do? Like
maybe.
the toxic masculinity on this one, I swear. and
Yep.
very, very much a result of being compared to someone else in his age group for his entire life and presumably being found wanting more than once if she's
Mhm.
going to be super chill about it and he really super isn't. And also him making the point of, why did you get involved with the whole troll thing? It would have been smarter to let the upperclassmen and the teachers handle it. It's like, so you would have let her die. I
Mhm.
didn't say that, but I did say that. It's just quiet part
Yep.
loud, buddy. Quiet part loud.
And then we'll probably get to see more of his like little henchmen goons that were hanging around him and like snickering as well.
They're
We didn't really
also in
get
the opening.
much of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Gigadare going, I expect shenanigans.
Oh, of
Agreed. Yeah.
course.
Yep.
Of course.
Yes.
So, yeah, they definitely threw a whole lot at us. So
Yep.
we'll see where it goes. The pacing of this is just breakneck.
Yes. Which I like doing the two at a time because it is more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh. Either cruel or sad or both. Yeah. Yeah.
Porque no los dos.
Yep. I was explaining that meme to my friend that they used the one from Road to El Dorado.
Oh,
Both
the
is
both
good.
is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, have you seen this meme? I love this meme so much. I mean, it's a meme and a GIF. But I think that was the best when it's like, pick one. And you're like, why? Both,
I
both, both are good.
I love both is good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Porque no los dos has its very specific uses.
Mm,
Um, both is good to me implies like I want both. Like yes,
ah,
it says it in the thing both is good. Whereas for this one, we're talking about multiple flavors of suffering, and I'm here like yes to all. Porque no los dos?
why not both? Yeah.
Meme culture.
Yes. Where is that one from? I'm like, I don't think I've seen that one as much.
It's a taco shell commercial. I can't remember the brand,
That makes sense.
but
Okay.
they were selling hard shells and soft shells in the same box.
Mm,
So it was a whole hard shell, soft shell thing. And then
ah,
her in the middle, like, ¿Por qué no los dos? And the next
okay.
shot is them just like holding her on their shoulders and cheering. Like, yep. ¿Por qué no los dos?
I don't know why that made me think of it, but I'm like, that makes me think how you can do boba at home and like just have one of each flavor or something. I don't know. That was definitely tangent pivot.
I don't think I'd do at home boba.
You
Like,
know,
I'm sure
it's
it's
not
fine,
Costco
but
has it, not sponsored, but they have a good one where I've had a couple of them and they've actually pretty darn tasty. Uh, if you all are ever shopping, my recommendation is not the one that's frozen. My results were not as good compared to the other one where it just sits on your shelf. So
it's a dry mix.
it's a dry mix that you add
Okay.
water or a milk blend, depending on if it's a milk tea or the fruit tea. And then the boba is in a baggie that you boil or microwave, and then you mix it all together.
Okay.
Generally, so
Hmm.
far, so good. I think
Hmm.
I've liked it.
Hmm.
Then we're continuing our tangent corner of food of things. Gig there goes. I remember the one with the hard shell taco and then the flat bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Makes me think
Yep.
of like the ones where they have the two taco.
Yep.
Like, yep. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. Just porque no los dos?
Wait, what? Never had boba. How is it? What? Oh my goodness.
You gotta go to a place that
Go
specializes
legit place
in
first.
boba.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
not go to a place that does 5 other things and also boba because the boba will not be quality.
Yep.
I see all these places that are like, "We're a donut shop, and also we do boba." Uh-uh. 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 I've made that mistake. I've made that mistake more than once. I've learned. If there's a boba time or a boba loca near you, solid places to go.
My only well, not only, but one of my suggestions would be is if you get boba, so it's kind of almost like you're chewing a little gummy bear thing. Like it's a
Mhm.
chewy texture,
It's
but
tapioca.
different places have different textures. So if you don't like it at one place, that does not mean you will dislike all of them. It might
Yes.
just be a different texture.
Or you
Light,
might have gotten it someplace where the boba is old or bad.
yes.
Again, made that mistake.
Some of them are
Do
more
not
flavored. That too.
do not save your boba for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't. Just that is a day of thing.
But lychee, you can get that, and that is great next day, and that's also a nice alternative if you want a chewy texture, but a different kind. So
They also do what they call popping boba, which is kind of
yes, those are
they're little
definitely
bubbles.
that is weird.
They're
but
little.
sometimes good.
I like them. Hilariously, Menchie's has them as a topping,
Yeah. Yes.
so you
Yeah.
can get the. I used to go to Menchie's and get just like a cup full of them,
Yeah.
and then bring them home and put them in cocktails.
Ooh,
I was a little
smart.
mixologist. Yeah,
I
not
think it
very good, but
depends
we tried.
what you're in the mood for, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was all speaking of yeah, we're on our tangent quarter boba. I was like, you were talking to two people that are like, yes, we'll go grab boba anytime. I
Look,
just got one yesterday down in Torrance, and it was they had a panda, and I was like, what's that? Because then they had white boba and black boba, and I'm like, oh,
hmm,
panda, I get it.
hmm,
So it's like regular boba, and then it was like glass, so it was just a softer texture, and then that was
interesting.
really nice, and it had like kind of fruit puree in there, and I liked having the chewy texture while driving because then it was like a nice texture sensation, versus just a drink beverage. So
Yeah.
it's personal
Whereas
preference.
for
Yes.
me, I love the drink beverage bit. The best boba I've ever had was in New York City,
Mm.
and they have one of those out here, but it's like an hour drive away in a direction I don't normally go, so it's
Ah.
not quite worth it to go. But the best I've had in Los Angeles is Gongcha in Little
Okay.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Gongcha will deliver to my workplace, but it is expensive. So I haven't yet broken that.
Yeah.
Dude, next time you go tweet me, I will dig up the one that I went to. It's like 2 blocks away from Veselka, and it is unbelievably good. Also, if you're in New York City, eat at Veselka. It's Ukrainian, and it's so good. Oh my God. We went twice in a week. It was
Nice.
incredible.
Pivoting on anime news,
Yep.
we did John Knight in the chat set mentioned that Attack on Titan, the final season 3, part 1 dub will premiere on Toonami September 9th, 12:30 a.m. Awesome. And it took 6 months to dub the final season part 3. I believe it.
Fair enough.
It's a big
Also, I
part.
think the final episode, the
I'm all
final, it's
final.
like naming a
Uh,
progression file or a Photoshop file
yeah.
where it's just this final, but the last,
Uh,
actually no, really last episode of Attack on Titan is like 80 minutes long or something crazy, like it's a
mm,
movie.
mm. I laugh at that because I literally had a project. It was a draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, and apparently draft 3 was the wrong format and like size wise. So then I did a final so that I could change. Ah, video editing, y'all. Anyways,
You're talking to someone who has discovered the trick is to save drafts with dates attached. So it's
yeah,
such and such update
yeah, that too.
8.14.23 or
Yes,
whatever.
yes. All right. That's it for Spellblades. I hope you enjoyed our tangent on boba and such and food. We do like food and treats and snacks on this show.
I have
Uh,
G Fuel.
yay!
I finally opened up the bubblegum lemonade and oh
Oh,
my God, it's good. Thank you, G
yay!
Fuel.
Well, I did the wrong lower third, but this is appropriate for things we are excited about. Yes. Uh, yes. Here we go. On the food tangent, today's menu with the Emiya family has great recipes and my fave of the Fate series.
Okay.
Oh, yay. Fate series. I love the video on that. That's like, where do I start watching that? And it's like, well, da da da. Like, oh, yeah. That is a fun series as well.
I have
Series.
only ever watched the
Series.
Fate Stay Night Abridged series, and it's absolutely insane and probably makes more sense if you know the first thing about Fate, which I don't, but it's still incredibly well made.
I think Fate Stay Night was my first one, and then Unlimited Blade Works, and I've watched a couple others, but
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot.
It's
Uh,
the it's no, the abridged series is Unlimited Blade Works. That's what it
yeah,
is.
that one's a good one. I liked Unlimited Blade Works.
And I'm pretty sure it's made by the same people who I'm pretty sure it's made by Project Mouthwash, who are the same people doing Bleach Abridged. And
ah,
Bleach Abridged is glorious. Abridged series nowadays are just killing it.
nice. I was looking over because I thought I had my manga to show that I was reading, but I was like, nope. But stuff you should check out are recommendations of stuff we were reading, watching, whatever that we would recommend to you. So I'm still reading A Bride's Story, but that's in another area that I'm like, I thought it was right here. It's not. Reminder: you can get books from your library that if you want it, well, in California, this is definitely a thing right now. Other states, you might have some other kind of similar initiative. If there's a book you want, you go to your library and go, hey, I want this book. If it's of a certain value, that's like within their price range, they'll order it from Amazon or some other spot, ship it to you, you read it, and then you take it back to the library, and then it's in circulation for more people to enjoy. So it's like, yes. So that's how I've been doing a bride story. So still really enjoying that one. I finally finished I think it's The Cruel Prince. It is a
Okay.
audio CD that I've been listening to for a little while. I do think it ended well. I am glad to have discovered it is a trilogy, and part two was available at my library because I have a bit more driving to do. So I'm like, oh, good. I needed a next thing to listen to, and it ends very much like, well, and I'm like, I'm glad the next part of the trilogy
Yeah.
is available. That's a good book series if you're into fantasy. Um, the dynamics of a royal court and strategy and politics of that is pretty interesting. And again, if you're into fantasy and fae and the fae realm, but in a darker, more dangerous sense, like you could die, and it's not just like light and fluffy. It's like no, humans are kidnapped and like dangerous, but entertaining enough. So I like that. I'm like, well, let me see if I can find the name. I'm like, who wrote that? I think
To be
it's
fair, when it comes to Fae stuff, You Could Die is always on the table.
true. Holly Black. There we go. So the first book is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So that was one that I enjoyed. And that's kind of the main things that I finished. I'm still watching Ghosts, and I still really much enjoy that show. It's very entertaining if you want something fun and light, but with heart still and humor. All right. What about you?
I've been in the throes of burnout, which
I
for
was going
me
to say,
generally means no new media. Uh,
and
that's
you have
that's
preparation stuff.
and I
Life.
have been preparing for Labyrinth of Jareth, which has
Mm-hmm.
also no new media.
Yep.
I did go see Mutant Mayhem for the second time. It's just as good the second time, and
Nice.
knowing what was coming and listening to the group of older high school students, younger college students behind me react, beautiful. It's uh it's always fun to see a movie opening night or close to opening night and then come back a week later when you know what's happening and
Mm.
you're just listening to everyone watching it for the first time lose their minds. Like for
Hmm.
those of you who've seen it, whole theater went crazy at the mid-credits scene. Just nuts. Fantastic. So that was a lot of fun to do again. That was a very good time. Aside from that, it has continued to be just a metric ton of Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I recently got back into playing Curse of the Necrodancer. It is a rhythm based roguelike with some absolutely amazing music. 2D graphics, pixelated, a lot of fun. Available on Steam. One of those where you can play it for hours on end, or you can sit down and play it for like 20 minutes and be like, that was good. That was my gaming time for the day. So it's not something where you have to sit down and commit. You can
Mm.
kind of parcel it out as needed.
Nice.
Uh, yeah. Yep.
Yep.
It's been a
Feeling
lot.
that.
It's been a lot. If
Yay.
you are in the Los Angeles area this weekend and you would love to come to just an absolutely buck wild masquerade ball with some of the best costuming you've seen, the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade is the 18th and 19th. Saturday is already sold out, so if you don't have tickets, you ain't coming. But Friday still has a few. It is an absolute blast. I will be there running the dice games with the Wizards Guild, so come see me if you're coming. And yeah, I highly recommend it. It is a hell of a time.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's our banner. I'm like, where am I looking at the wrong spot? Um,
Big
yeah.
Monday energy. The
Woo!
Mondayist.
Yes,
The
it's a Monday of
Mondayist.
Mondays. We thank all of you for tuning in. If you watched it live, awesome. And if you watch it later, no worries. We love you as well. Leave comment down below on different stuff you're watching, reading, or cool games that you're playing, anything like that. What are you thinking about Seven Blades? Remember, no spoilers. Don't get ahead of where we are covering at this point. Kid Eric says, going to see the Barbie movie Thursday. Friend says it's time to get beached off. Should I be concerned?
Have fun.
Have fun. It's
Have
fun.
fun.
It's
Have fun.
uh
Have fun.
yeah. It's entertaining. That would be my other recommendation. I'm like, also go see Barbie.
Barbie good.
Um, Barbie's a good one. And yes, so thank you everybody for tuning in. And Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reactions, long diatribes about things, etc., they live on that YouTube channel. I am also a co-host on Silver Screams on YouTube, where my roommate and I go into horror things, and she's really big into horror, and I'm a total wuss. So there's definitely more than a few reaction videos there where you can see me just jump straight out of my skin. It's fun.
Woo! And you all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE across all social media platforms. I added another interview here on the Fanversation channel, so be sure to check that out in the voice actor character category 2. Morgana Ignis, who is also a voice on Hell of a Boss, which we have talked about here on this show. So there's that. And then, yeah, if you haven't seen them yet, interviews from Comic Con are on here too, as well. Anime Expo, if you're definitely behind on things, that's totally okay. It's nice to get stuff later and be like,
Yeah.
yay, more content. And yeah, just be sure to follow us also at NTATNB. That's our Twitter channel for this show and also Fanversation. We have a lot of fun videos from Comic Con over on Instagram and TikTok. So whichever platform is your one of preference. And thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, we'll probably be taking a break because there's a lot of stuff going on. And it will be even more Mondays of Mondays. Uh, oh,
We'll let you
characters.
know. We will put it on the Twitter, on that NTATNB Twitter, once we make that
Yes.
decision for sure. But odds are there won't be a show. I haven't seen the Sojourn short. I'm
Okay.
behind,
Okay. I was like, what is that?
and it's Overwatch.
Okay. I was like,
Overwatch stuff. I know
okay.
it's in game. I haven't gone looking,
Okay.
and the story missions are behind a paywall. So
Got it. Yep.
I have opinions on that, but those are elsewhere.
Mm. Yeah.
That's
So
life.
next week, just make sure to check out the NTATMB. We'll let you know there or here or our
Yes.
channels. So
Yes.
thank you everybody for tuning in, and we hope you have a great rest of your week and that your Mondays are not as Mondays. And
Slightly
we'll
less
see you.
Monday energy.
Yes.
Smaller Monday energy.
Yes. We'll see you next time. All right.
See ya.
Bye.